There we go. Right where we left them. It was just that simple. Oh, there we go. There we go. There are thousands and thousands of birds. Beautiful, beautiful. There we go. That's better. Finally. If I go down here and scratch, I'm going to have my wife etch into my tombstone, "Here lies Jim. He should have been there yesterday." I'm already hearing some sad music playing. It's coming in. The sad music's rising. And here comes a voiceover about how it wasn't about catching the fish anyway.
Before I can declare a striper season officially over, I need to make a few casts in the waters where I learned to fish. On this trip, I'm chasing the sun, heading to the Jersey Shore, where in mid-November, the fall run is just hitting its stride. Before making a cast, I stopped at Giglio's Bait and Tackle in Seabright, where Mike Pinto was behind the counter, fresh off a fishing trip of his own, with the latest intel to share.
What's happened lately?
Yesterday there was pretty decent amount of fish up on the North Beach, Sandy Hook.
Okay.
They were on sand eels, which is unusual. Usually the other day they were on bunker. That was like an epic day. It was like incredible. There was fish for miles. There was so much bait, it was crazy. It was like insane.
Well, we're here a couple days too late. But so what's different between the bunker bite and the sand eel bite?
Well, if you got a sand eel bite, seems like the diamond jigs are taking it.
Okay.
Bunker is more like topwater. SP minnows, pencil poppers, that kind of stuff.
Mike, can you tell me a little bit about the shop?
The shop's been here like since 1961. Tommy's uncle started it. That was Tommy's father.
Okay.
Yeah. So he had like 50 pound fish there.
Wow.
But yeah, so now Tommy's got it. Still in the same family.
It's a great location, man. Right near some incredible fishing, and
Got a lot of history.
would you say November's best month for the fall here?
That's the way it seems. Yeah, 2 years, yeah. Fall fishing, they're not the charts. Size of these fish that we're seeing on the beach, 42 inches, 48 inches fish on the beach. It's incredible, really.
And it's like, I remember just 10 years ago, you go out, the fall fish were always the smaller fish. The spring would be the big.
It's common to get a big fish now. I mean, if you caught a 50 pound fish back in the day, that was like a treasured thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot more common now. It's hard to believe, really.
Mike, thank you so much. We just got into town. First stop was Giglio's, and you got to hit these local shops because the bites are they're moving fast. They're in concentrated areas, so you got to stop in, get the local intel, get whatever lures are working at the time. Now we're ready to hit the beach. You'll see us. So, I'll see you. Thanks. The little blitz wire. That's the blitz wire. Those are where the blitzes aren't today. So here we're in Monmouth County, New Jersey. This is about as far north as you can go. This is Sandy Hook. Kind of a classic striper spot and just part of the very beginning of like where you would go to find the bass. They bunch up in certain areas. Wherever the bait lands on a given day, could be here, could be down in Island Beach State Park. So we're gonna cover a lot of ground while we're here over the next couple days to try to find some fish. It's been a mix of bait. You've had sand eels, which with sand eels generally the fish are on the bottom, eating smaller stuff. And then bunker, both peanuts and adult-sized bunker, which is the more dramatic. Blitzes tends to be bigger fish. But man, I am happy to catch any size striped bass right now. I'm extending my season. Things wrapped up on the Cape a couple weeks ago, so we're down here in New Jersey here in November. And man, hoping just a few. I don't need a lot, just a couple, just a couple. One of the cool things about this fall run down here, especially compared to back home, is that so much of it happens during the day. It's so visual. You know, I do a lot of, I surf fish from late April, May to November back in Massachusetts, and I would say 80% of the fishing I do is at night. Here, there's good night fishing, But a lot of the best action, I mean, this is a prime migrating spot for the bass. Like these fish are passing through, they are in full feed mode. These are fish coming from Maine, coming from Cape Cod, coming from the east end of Long Island, moving through, eating as much as they can before they get to where they're gonna spend the winter. And that means they're gonna feed around the clock at times. You know, real visual blitzes. Usually the day before we get here is when those happen. Oh, it's a big one. See him right on top of the wave there? It's a pretty good fish. This is always the like make or break part of the fight. Like you've got the fish close, then you've got to get it through that wave because that wave's gonna want to suck him back like that. The guy ran to it, now he's gonna run it up, just hold it high and dry. He got him. It's a nice fish. Oh, that's a nice fish. All right, now that we've seen a real good one. That's clearly on a metal. Okay, all right. One for me, please. Two guys on there. Just gotta keep creeping into the madness. Oh, that guy. Oh, there we go. There we go. Well, it was just that simple. Oh, feels so good. He is right there. A little frisky one. Let a wave just wash him up so I'm not dragging him on the sand too bad. Beautiful, beautiful. Little guy, a little schooly, but what was that, my second cast with the metal jig? So I'm gonna put this guy back and keep growing, man. That's great. Oh. Not the cleanest of releases, but that'll do. Oh, dude. That took no second cast at this thing. Yeah, I just let it sink and then started to retrieve it. There he is.
In the fall, after the word gets out about bass hitting the beach, you'll rarely have good fishing all to yourself.
Oh, we'll be okay. That's all right.
Anytime you fish in a crowd, crossed lines are bound to happen. When they do, it's important to keep your cool, keep your line tight to avoid making the tangle worse, and, whenever possible, blame the guy from out of state,
not at all.
even if it happens to be you.
There we go. Got that. Get this all sorted out. I'll take care of the fish. Oops, sorry, I get you.
Wrapped around, that's what it is. All wrapped up.
All right, just gotta toss him back. Beautiful. The day-saving diamond jig. Yeah, so when these come through the water, you know, this is obviously your wake, there's some flash, a little bit of action. You see this hook, this tube, surgical tube on the hook. It's called a true turn hook. And then with that tube, it spins as you retrieve it, and under the water it looks just like a sandbar. Oh, man. Smoked it. It's gone. I lost it. Oh, the fish gods give and the fish gods take away. That felt like a solid fish. Clearly the difference was the casting distance. It had to be. All those hits that I had, so 3 hits, landed 2 fish, broke off the jig. They were all beyond where I was casting the other jigs. So that stinks. All right, that's okay. The fish are here, they're hungry. Certainly they're not all that far out of range. Should have checked my leader after some of those interactions, maybe. I was in such a rush to get down here. I didn't even pre-tie any leaders for this trip. Man, I'm telling you, the action seems to be intense. I mean, it comes through in waves, but I think it's intensifying as we get later into the tide and later in the afternoon. So I'm holding out hope that these fish move close to the beach. God, I know they'll eat this. I just think maybe it's too deep out there for it. Oh my God, that's like half as far as I was throwing the metal.
In the rush to extend my striper season, I came equipped with just one Ava jig. Fortunately, not long after losing it, I saw a familiar face walking down the beach.
Whatever you have duplicates of.
That's a 17.
Oh, thank you. Guy just landed one that was like probably 30 pounds, 35 pounds.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty good, man. It'll come in waves. Like you'll see like 3 or 4 guys hook up. That's beautiful, thank you.
Yeah,
But it seems like, I don't know if it's the distance. There's a guy fighting one, right? Yeah.
It's the point. Last year I was on the point. The ranger kicked me off.
Oh, really?
I caught like 15, 20 fish in a row.
So thank you very much, guys.
I'm gonna try to jump in down there.
Yeah, I would go mix it up. On the Water alum, Neil Larson, coming through with the on the beach Ava jig delivery. So I'm out of excuses if I don't catch one now. There we go. One schoolie for every mile walked. This is a little bit of what we came for. This isn't all of it, but yes, this is extending the striper season, sand beaches, beautiful conditions, migrating stripe out. Just like that. There you go, buddy. Diamond jig right there. Looked like a little sand deal, and then let's put him right back. He's got a long journey ahead, that guy. I feel like for all that walking, all that driving, I feel like I earned one at least 3 times that size. Sliding toward the point, it's like the line at the DMV. Kind of slowly make your way to the hot spot. We're gonna start blaming colors for why I'm not catching. Let's try the yellow. Well, green is kind of a fail-safe. Quick 45-incher. They're there. Is it? Oh, it's a better fish, maybe. Dude, that was right after the switch to yellow. A little bit. I think the bigger thing was it was a lighter jig. He's on top. Maybe that was the difference. Oh, one more. Beautiful. beautiful, man. That's a better one. It's a little more like it. Next wave. There we go. That's better. Finally.
I've got the right jigs, you know, and I'm going into this fully prepared right now. It's, to be excited.
On a long walk to a fishing spot, the imagination tends to run wild. With each step, you picture a surf that's alive with feeding stripers and fleeing sand eels, a sky that's full of diving gulls. Once in a great while, the fishing even lives up to these expectations, like it did on this brisk November morning in New Jersey.
Day 2, man, and it looks like they're right where we left them last night. Oh, come on. There we go. Right where we left them. A lot more wind today, but it seems like it's got the fish even more fired. If that's possible, it's got to be more fired up. There are thousands and thousands of birds picking from like 10 yards off the beach to 100 yards off. There we go, buddy. There we go. Beautiful fish, man. He's probably just under the slot. Real healthy, full of sand eels. Gonna eat more sand eels. It's a good start. It's a very good start. This is fall run fishing at its finest, man. You can't beat this. Everybody's hooked up all around you. Birds working, fish breaking, New York City skyline over your shoulder. I mean, it's just so good. Got him. Down the line, everybody's hooked up. I bet you could get them on pencils. And these aren't big fish, but it's nice to see, you know, some smaller fish, knowing just there's been a couple tough spawns in the Chesapeake. So to see some of these smaller sized bass, so you've got some fish to spawn in the future. It's encouraging. Healthy little schoolie, probably on his 3rd or 4th migration. Hopefully grows up, make a lot of eggs, keep the population strong, or get it stronger again. One of the things about sand eel bites is while it is consistent, the fish do hold in one place, they tend to be smaller. There's big fish in the mix, but your average size fish is definitely a little bit on the smaller side. I mean, if you can't catch a big one, you might as well catch a lot. After yesterday's hard lesson, stocked up on Ava diamond jigs. It's just kind of the classic diamond jig. I mean, this has been around forever. It was developed off Bridgeport, Connecticut, and then the spin on it is you put a little piece of surgical tubing on a swivel on then a true turn hook, which is a hook that's bent on the shank. It twists in the water, looks just like a sand eel. It is a great sand eel imitation. There's a seal right in front of me. Yeah, we've only been here for a few minutes, and I'm on. Looks like a similar mix of size as a fish to yesterday, where you had a lot of like schoolies and then slots, but then seen some couple larger fish mixed in. Just doing these numbers, man, it's a fall blitz, man. Even though they're not on top, a lot of guys catching, a lot of fish eating. a sand eel bite. Came down here expecting a peanut bunker or a bunker bite, but I'm more than happy with what we found going on. Releasing other people's fish. See, you want to give them a good chance to survive, man. Just spend a couple extra seconds with them. Otherwise, they end up washing down the beach like that, you know, kind of languishing. It just doesn't take much. You know, I didn't catch that fish. It was somebody else's. Just kind of washed down to me. But just take the extra like 10 seconds to get that thing into a little bit deeper water rather than just toss it in. All right, there's such a bow in the line. Surf fishing sand beaches like this, I generally like 10-foot rods. A lot of guys will go with 9-foot rods. You don't need an 11 or 12 if you're throwing lures. This rod here is rated up to 3 ounces. So it's, you know, not a super heavy rod. You know, generally a 1 to 3 for most stuff. If you're fishing bigger lures, if they're on big bunker, then you might want a rod rated 2 to 6 because you're gonna be throwing heavier stuff. But for what we're doing today, this 1 to 3, perfect. So line, I've got 40-pound test. Could get away with 30 on sand beaches, but I use this rod around some rocks too. There he is, another schoolie. Just a pretty fish. Hook out. If I don't catch another fish, this has been a great trip. Came down here. All I'm looking to do is catch one more striper to extend the season. We caught a lot more than that, so it's always good. If stars align, maybe I'll get back down here in early December. The fish will stay here through January. It slowed down a lot from this morning, from that little frenzy. There's still a couple fish being picked, but it seems like it's kind of died out. We could stay here and wait for the tide change, but I think I'm gonna indulge in one of the other things I miss about being down here in New Jersey, and that is a pork roll, egg and cheese sandwich. So I think now that the fish fed first, now Jim can feed. I'm gonna go grab one of those.
I did say I was going to get a pork roll, egg and cheese, but I saw the option for a Jersey Benedict, which is with pork roll instead of the ham. So I kind of made a pivot, and I don't think I'm going to regret it. Just first impressions. A big bite. Here we go. Oh, I'm a little hot. Let me go.
On the drive back to the striperless north, I realized that I'd had Jersey Benedict 2 times that morning. The first time and the last time. When it comes to classic combinations, whether it be pork roll, egg and cheese, or stripers, sand eels, and diamond jigs, you just don't deviate from a winning formula. While the presence of sand eels instead of bunker wasn't what I'd been expecting when I was planning this trip, it resulted in much better fishing than I'd had in 2023. I'm already looking forward to next November, when I'll return to New Jersey to see what surprises the fall run has in store.